St. Mary Police probe separate incidents, one fatal, days apart. The St. Mary Police have launched probes into two separate shooting incidents, one of them fatal, committed on Wednesday and on Thursday in Enfield and Port Mario. Dead is 62-year-old George Malcolm, a former of Fort Stewart. Head of the division, Deputy Superintendent Anthony Wallace, said the Port Mario incident, a taxi operator was shot and wounded, while in the Enfield incident, residents who heard explosions called the police. Officers found Malcolm's body at Dry River.
We're actively investigating a shooting incident that took place in the Free Hill area of Portmore around 6:50 a.m. A taxi operator was attacked by unknown assailants and sustained gunshot wounds, but thankfully managed to drive safely. No passengers were injured. We want to reassure the public that your safety is our priority. In response, we have increased patrols and operations in the area to maintain public order and to prevent any recurrence of such incidents. We're also appealing to anyone with information to come forward. Even the smallest detail could be crucial in bringing the perpetrators to justice. You can contact us at 876-994-4222 or Crime Stop at 311 or your nearest police station. We urge everyone to stay vigilant and to work with us as we aim to keep St. Mary safe. On Wednesday, January 8th, the body of 62-year-old George Malcolm, a farmer from Boatville, Fort Stewart, was found at Dry River, Enfield in St. Mary. Residents reported hearing what sounds like gunshot around 2:10 p.m. and upon investigation, Mr. Malcolm was discovered with what appears to be gunshot wounds. He was taken to the Anatomy Hospital where he was pronounced dead by the doctors there. We want to reassure the public that the St. Mary Police are fully committed to solving this case and ensuring the safety of the Anatomy community. We're urging anyone with information to contact the Anatomy Police at 876-996-2244 or Crime Stop at 311. Every detail matters as we're working to bring justice to Mr. Malcolm and his family.
Opposition criticizes Health Ministry's response to negligence, allegations in death of 4-year-old at Bustamante Hospital. Opposition spokesperson on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, has called on the Health Ministry to provide a more detailed and empathetic response to allegations of gross negligence surrounding the tragic death of a 4-year-old girl at Bustamante Hospital for Children. Alexandria Jones reportedly passed away from complications following surgery. Her grieving family has raised concern about the circumstances of her death. On Tuesday, the Southeast Regional Health Authority issued a statement confirming the Bustamante Hospital had launched an internal investigation into the case. The statement also encouraged the family to submit a formal complaint to the facility and meet with the hospital's team and address their concerns directly. However, Mr. Dawes criticizes the ministry's statement, saying it only perpetuated the emotional distress. Dr. Dawes described the health ministry's silence on the issue as deafening. He said the ministry is to immediately clarify the timing and circumstances of the child's death to help bring closure to the parties involved. Meantime, Dr. Dawes pointed out that the alleged absence of essential resources needed to help the child is deeply concerning.
I must speak to the Ministry of Health and Wellness's response, or rather, the lack of a comprehensive and empathetic one to this tragedy. The ministry has yet to address a critical allegation raised by the family that their daughter had passed long before they were informed. Let me be clear, confirming or denying this does not require the family to submit a formal written request as was stipulated by the release. It requires compassion and urgency. Instead, the ministry's response has been cold-hearted, devoid of empathy, and has only deepened the trauma for all involved. The Minister of Health's silence on this issue is deafening. Families, hospital staff, and the Jamaican public deserve transparency and accountability. The ministry has a moral obligation to provide clarity about the circumstances of Alexandriana's passing and to ensure that her family and our country receive a full and honest explanation. This is not just about one family's tragedy. It is about the standard of care that every Jamaican child deserves. The time for action is now, and anything less than full transparency and decisive action is unacceptable. It is deeply troubling that the child, while in critical condition, had to be transported to another facility for an emergency CT scan before her treatment could proceed. How can the leading pediatric hospital in the Caribbean performing complex heart and brain surgeries not have such a vital diagnostic tool? This unacceptable gap in resources creates preventable delays that cost lives.
Education Ministry investigating payroll issues at Bethel Primary. The Education Ministry says it is investigating issues affecting payroll processing for auxiliary staff at Bethel Primary School in Hanover to identify and resolve them before the next pay cycle. The update follows concerns raised by the workers regarding reported payroll discrepancies. In a statement, the ministry explained that as part of the ongoing improvement in service delivery, it is transitioning to the government-initiated system MyHR Plus. The new platform should allow for more accurate processing of payments, processing of leave, e-pay slip, and job letters. However, it has led to issues with payments for some ministry staff. Permanent Secretary in the ministry said she understands and regrets the impact the delays have had on staff and is committed to resolving them. She noted that since the ministry transitioned to MyHR Plus, it has successfully onboarded and is paying almost 17,500 teachers and over 8,000 non-academic staff and ministry staff members. She said the ministry is the largest user of the system, and as it transitions to new process challenges may raise. Full migration to MyHR Plus is expected by March of this year. Prime Minister Holness says domestic violence is creating a crisis of homelessness. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says domestic violence has displaced several Jamaicans from their homes, creating a crisis of homelessness. Dr. Holness made the comment during the handing over ceremony for a home in St. Mary. He noted that persons who have benefited under the new social housing program include several affected by domestic abuse and arson. He challenged citizens to play a critical role in the reduction of violence in the country, especially within the family.
That is something that the entire country ought to pay attention to. And that is how domestic violence, violence within the family, is separating households, dislodging people from their housing, and creating, in effect, a homeless crisis. Under this program, we have seen persons dispossessed of their housing, not only because of catastrophes such as weather events or fire, but we have seen situations of arson. We have seen situations of domestic abuse where partners, intimate partner violence would have caused people to flee their homes. And we have seen situations of domestic disputes, disputes between families, which have caused households to separate and members of the household to become homeless. So the issue of violence also has an impact on housing. I want to throw out a challenge to the good citizens of this parish that every one of us must start to take personal responsibility for the level of violence within our families, within our communities, within our social institutions, and indeed within our parish and within our country. Because the impact of violence, not just the physical hurt that people may feel, but it causes great emotional distress. And the problem is that, like poverty, emotional pain is transmitted intergenerationally. The families don't forget, and it lasts for generations and generations. And sometimes you're puzzled when you see an act of violence and you wonder, why did this happen? The root of it can be traced back to incidents that happened in previous times. So I throw out the challenge as I'm handing over this unit, which is as a result of domestic disputes.
Crackdown on crime in St. Mary continues with another major police military operation. A police military operation is underway in St. Mary as law enforcement officers intensify efforts to suppress crime in the parish. The operation is focused on Bailey'sville and its environs. Acting Superintendent of Police for St. Mary Division, Anthony Wallace, says the operation is aimed at targeting criminal hotspots to apprehend wanted individuals, recover illegal firearms and ammunition, and arrest those involved in lottery scamming. This initiative is a multi-agency effort involving over 100 officers from the Jamaica Constabulary Force (JCF) and the Jamaica Defense Force, Wallace pointed out. The Area 2 Fugitive Apprehensive Team, the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, the Canine Specialized Operations, the National Intelligence Bureau, and the Criminal Investigations Branch or the specialized JCF units participating in the operation. Wallace emphasized that this operation is part of our vision to eliminate all criminal activities in St. Mary from 2025 onwards. It represents our unwavering commitment to fostering safer communities and restoring public confidence. Wallace said that residents are encouraged to cooperate with law enforcement officers during the operation and report any suspicious activities to the police. The JCF assures the public that this ongoing campaign against criminal elements underscores its dedication to securing the safety and well-being of all citizens, he concluded. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.